and welcome to the Heartfelt Clubhouse. I am your host, Baby BC, and I'm joined today with the man, the myth, the legend, Josue. You want to introduce us a little bit?
I don't know about the myth and the legend, but I'm a person. So
he's a good guy.
Anyway, yes, my name is Josue Padilla. We're out here in Denver. It's where I live. From Arizona originally. Born in Tucson, moved to the Valley, Phoenix area. I lived there for most of my life. Now I'm here in Denver. I'm in the Space Force, the military, serving the country, doing important stuff sometimes.
You know how it goes. Yes. So we kind of connected. We stayed in touch for the last year, and then we kind of reconnected over Heartfelt and just like mental health and all of that. We definitely, share a lot of values. But yeah, if you just want to touch on what kind of drew you back in with regard to Heartfelt and everything.
Yeah, honestly, sometimes it sounds kind of cliche to talking to people, but COVID, it gave me a really good, it's kind of setting to really just sit down, reflect on things, work through processes. It's kind of maybe even work through some trauma that kind of went in my life. So, because you think about it, it's COVID, right? You're sitting in your house, right? And you got nothing but free time. So, you might as well try to improve yourself so you can improve the world.
Yeah, that's a great way to look at it. And we're lucky enough. So first of all, it's Friday, so we're drinking.
Oh, yeah.
We're recording on a Friday, so we're having a little drink, which is always the best. But you're actually willing to also provide some designs for Heartfelt, right?
Yes.
So if you just want to talk about maybe what comes to mind when you're designing in this realm of mental health, how'd you come up with those awesome designs?
Honestly, it kind of just popped in my head. I do tend to kind of look on Pinterest too as well for as far as maybe getting a little inspiration, but I don't know, kind of just I'm just sitting there, I'm just thinking, and I can't really force it. It just kind of just happens. That sounds super big and dumb, but it's just how it is.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, you just get the juices flowing.
Yeah, I mean honestly, it might take me a while. There's some for 3 designs, it took me freaking 3.5 months.
Yeah.
So, because a lot of times I'll just draw something out, I'm I don't like the way this looks. And I stop, and I'm okay, I can't. I just got to stop, come back to it, and then when I get back to it, and I'll kind of chip away at it. The last one I finished, it's a bonsai tree, but it has the face of a woman, and it has a meaning behind that. It's kind of to be one with yourself, to be one with the earth. That took me a good 3 or 4 weeks because I just kept redrawing it over and over and over again. And then finally, it took 3 days. I just did it for an hour a day, and I just finished it. So it didn't really take me a whole lot of time to actually draw it. It just took me time to get to the point where I wanted to draw it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So do you kind of use that art as a little bit of a therapy or a release?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Super cool.
Oh yeah, it's a huge part. Because I don't know, I kind of feel a lot of times when I draw, it's just random spiritual kind of meaning stuff that I have a really personal connection with when I do it, and it just feels really good. It's almost like a way of journaling or talking to somebody. It's like to release your emotion and just make sure you reassure it to yourself with who you are and what you want and what values you have.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I definitely suggest art as a form of therapy for anyone. It's such a good release. And like you said, during COVID, that was definitely something that I really used. Which I also think we kind of connected on. We talked about art and
we did.
I was starting to doodle, so learning from you was cool as well.
Yeah.
But with that being said, how old are you again?
22 years old.
22 years old, yes. We got the legal drinks, baby.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you've had, such an exciting life thus far, but how was your mental health growing up? How did all of that look for you? Hop right into it.
Let's start from the very beginning. I was born. No, but
rough start.
Yeah, right. Anyway, no, but on a real note. So, I was born in Tucson, and for the first few years of my life was actually good. My dad, took care of me. My biological mom, Elisa, she did get a job, but she also suffered from mental illness. So that it was tough, and they kind of went through struggles, and she ended up they both ended up getting divorced. So with that, she turned to drugs, and through the process of getting custody over me, despite being on drugs, she still did get custody over me. We were homeless in the streets of Tucson roughly about 4 years or so. So it was tough because I don't know, like I didn't really realize how kind of tough it was until talking to people. Like Tucson's not really the part that we were at. It was South Central, kind of. It's not really a good place to live, more or less, and be homeless at.
Yeah.
Like it's there's a lot of gang activity, slinging drugs, stuff like that. It's kind of scary. I mean, as a little kid, I'm thankfully I went through it when I was younger because I don't remember every single specific thing, but there's some stuff that really sticks with me. Like.
Yeah, of course.
And so, with that, like going through that as a kid, it's hard because your mom, dad, and whatnot are supposed to love you, right? But it doesn't feel like it at that time, and that really fucks with you like a lot. Like, because I mean, it's just like you can kind of think like, why would he do this to me? Why me? What I do to deserve this? What can I do to make them better? And I mean, you kind of can't really do anything.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the shitty part. You have to really realize. And so yeah, that was tough. I remember like one time, it's just really good to remember. We were at a bus stop. Well, two of them. This one isn't really so much as like gang activity. It was kind of just super freaking creepy. Like, so it was like we're at a bus stop, and this dude kind of just kept walking back and forth, and like almost kind of like a Marilyn Manson, but it was like I don't know what it was, but I felt something like pure evil coming out of this guy. I don't know how to describe it. Like I scared shit out of me.
Yeah. And how old were you?
At that time I was like 5.5, 6.
Oh my goodness.
And like I'm not super religious, but like I felt like the devil was walking by me. I was like, still to this day I never felt like that in a minute of my life. I don't know what the hell it was. Yeah. But like I guess where I'm going with that is that there's some like say energies out there in the world that you can like sense like what's good, what's bad. Especially from a young age, you're not, I guess, in a way corrupt from the outside world as far as social media and whatnot, what have you. But one of the big ones, like as far as like gang violence and whatnot, is that we're walking down the street and this black Cadillac comes screaming down the road, and like windows are down, and I'm hearing gunshots, and I'm like, oh shit. So we kind of like ducked down a little bit, and then like in the back, like you hear this dude just kind of like screaming for his life. He's like, please don't kill me. I got a family, blah 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 blah. And I'm just sitting there like horrified. I'm like, what could you do? I mean, I don't know. I didn't know what the hell he did. I mean, who knows what he did? But just stuff like that kind of goes on. You got your cop cars and you see people getting hauled off in ambulances and whatever. And to see my mom, I don't know, kind of like use methamphetamines, and I see trash cans full of syringes, and she's smoking right in front of me. Wow. Shit like that. It's just kind of it was tough. Oh yeah. So I got through it because I'm out here. But my dad, he like hunted me down. Like he was, just every day out there trying to get me. And credit to my stepmom. I always say I got two moms because she did a great job. Like me and her like so alike that we butt heads a lot. Yeah. But in the end, like we have a really deep love for each other. Oh, that's awesome. But so when did she step into your life? It was when I was found by my dad. So when I was about eight around there. Wow. Yeah. Okay, so you experienced a lot of like the homelessness during your very vulnerable years. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So yeah, it kind of sticks with me. Like sometimes I try to like carry cash, shit like that, in my wallet, give people out. Because that shit like it hurts. The world's just not forgiving. Yeah. So November has a lot of, very interesting things that are going on. We have the anti-bullying week. Obviously, one of our main focuses. We have the Hunger and Homelessness Awareness Week, which is going on from November 14th to the 23rd. Definitely a really good space to get involved, learn how to help, and kind of learn the ins and outs, because I feel like to an extent there's that taboo or that stigma about talking about homelessness, and what that can do is perpetuate, allowing people who have become homeless to feel kind of like the other, Exactly. For me, I always speak to homeless people. I love to give hugs, all of that, because they're still humans. Exactly. And I feel like a lot of times when I have sat down and gotten to speak with people who have been homeless or are facing homelessness, that's one of their main things is your mental health can deteriorate even further
just because of how people treat you. You know, and I'm sure you got to experience a little bit of that as well.
Yeah, it does. You know, you treat like you're not human, right? So like you kind of get looked at, kind of just weighed off to the side, and that's not right. Because like you said to people too, and like if you ever, you know, spend a lifetime of being isolated with no true like human interaction and really no hope, it kind of like it drive you insane.
Yeah.
And so it's tough, yeah.
For sure. And there's a variety of reasons why someone could potentially end up homeless. And as of right now, 1 in every 580 Americans are homeless. 18% chronically homeless, 7% are unaccompanied youths. So, you know, they really have nowhere else to go. And what a good time to step in and get help, which is rarely offered to them. 7% are veterans. 69.6% are males. And I feel like a big portion of that is also, I mean, obviously there's many reasons how, you know, you could potentially end up homeless, but I mean, that has to be so detrimental, and there's really not that support system for veterans even, of like, you know, we expect men to be so strong, so tough, and so maybe when they lose their job or they're facing mental health issues, they have no one to turn to, and it just kind of turns into this downward spiral, and they could potentially end up, you know, on the streets.
Yeah, like you said, it's just tough. Like, you know, as guys, we're supposed to be like the rock. You know, no matter what happens, you just deal with it. You just kind of like, you know, keep it in, and you don't talk to anybody. And like me personally, I've done that before plenty of times, and this shit does not work at all. Like it eats you away, man. I'm talking like, cause you know, from there, even when I was with my mom, my stepmom, like I love them, but we went through our struggles. You know, it was not easy all the time. Like there's times where I just didn't understand maybe some of the things we were doing, as far as even simple as like, you know, chores around the house, you know, and they've had their own struggles. Like my dad didn't have a good upbringing. Like my mom, stepmom had a hard upbringing. Like, so I kind of feel like it's almost like a cycle of everything. Parents in my life, it's all been tough.
Yeah.
But they're both very caring people. Extremely caring. Like my stepmom, she got into counseling like children for like teen youth.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so that actually really helped me out a lot, because then she kind of realized, she kind of apologized for some of the things she might have done that when I was younger, and that helped out like immensely.
Oh, sure.
Because I was like, oh, so you do get it. You know, there's sometimes when you think of parents, right, they're always supposed to be right. They're not supposed to do anything wrong, and you know, here and whatnot. And it's nice to hear them admit that they are wrong. Yeah. And that really is a huge part what I think that most parents should do as far as growing up their kids. It's like, you're going to be wrong. Like you gotta relate to your kids as we're both human too. I'm gonna make mistakes, and it's okay. We're gonna work through it, you know. Yeah. So yeah, and then I don't know. It's just a bunch of stuff happened. Like even with like, so I was going, for instance, like going back to the homeless thing. So I mean, I never really felt like that true loving connection with my mom in the physical sense. So with that, it caused me to honestly, like, I don't know, feel like a void as far as it comes for that female like connection. And just, I didn't realize, you know, why I felt like that sometimes, and that's kind of like during COVID, I was kind of processing that, and I was like, wait a minute, that might be one of the issues. Yeah. And it's okay. Like, at least you know. Now you know why you feel the way you do. And now you can, like, make more clear, conscious decisions. Yeah. And that's a huge part of it. And it just makes you, like, just better. Like, it's just way better. I don't know. I just feel like, you know, once you understand why you're feeling the way you're feeling, everything becomes much easier in life.
Okay, so what a big statement right there. So you went through homelessness. By the time you were 8, you did end up having a home, right, with your father and your stepmom. But it took until quarantine to kind of sit and process a lot of those things that happened at such a young age.
Exactly.
That's really interesting, and I feel like that's something that happened for a lot of men and women, you know, everyone across the country, across the world during this time of COVID and everything, because we don't have those distractions, right? We're not working our 9-to-5s, we're not going to the gym all the time, and ignoring those thoughts that maybe we have been, you know, having consistently from childhood.
Exactly.
And so you just have to kind of sit and go through the emotions. How did that, like, feel to you? Like, I'm sure that was really hard work that you did in isolation, you know?
Yeah, so art helped out a lot, obviously. Being out in nature, I went hiking every single day. Always getting some form of exercise. And I journaled every single night as well. It's huge. But there were some nights where, I cried.
Yeah.
But I feel like for me personally, it's a good release sometimes when you do that. It's like, I don't know, like, because sometimes you just get, like you said, things build up, and you just gotta just somehow let it go.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And it sucks, you know, because like, people are like, oh, men don't cry about their feelings, whatever. I'm like, dude, no. It's like, no, you're gonna, at least, I've seen my dad cry. He's a tough motherfucker. He's cried with me before. He's like, it happens.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's such a good, like you said, it's such a good release. Like, it's so cathartic to just cry when you need to. And then you fucking boss up and keep doing what you're doing. Like, it makes it easier to actually move through the emotions when you let yourself feel them.
Exactly.
So that's really cool that you can admit that.
Yeah, for sure.
Because, like, you're a human. Like, I'm a human.
Yeah.
So you're going to cry.
Right.
Like, that's how life works.
Exactly. It's just kind of how it's going to be.
Yeah. So have you ever done maybe a more professional form of mental health care?
I actually went to a few counseling appointments, but no. As far as that, not too much.
Yeah.
Maybe I should do a little bit more. It's not really afraid of stigma. I don't know. I kind of just. I actually really don't know why I haven't.
Yeah.
I just haven't.
Yeah. No, for sure. Okay, very cool. So, and now you are also within the Space Force. How does, maybe, I'm not sure if you can speak on this, how does mental health look within the Space Force? Is there a stigma amongst the crew and everyone?
Like, it's
crew.
kind of...
I don't know if that's the right word.
No, we're like crew flight, whatever, it's the same thing. But,
okay, cool.
But it's, so, like, we may not work a whole lot of days, like, in a row. But the thing is that, you know, it's a 24/7 job.
Yeah.
So in saying that, like, it's, you know, every 6 weeks, you have to switch up the sleep schedule. And, you know, it's just like, you know, you never get a chance to really kind of get, like, as soon as you get comfortable in your routine, you gotta switch it again, you gotta switch it again, you gotta switch it again. And sometimes, you know, you're working on the floor, whatever we call it, and it can be boring. You're sitting there and you're kind of like, fuck, man, like, what am I supposed to do, blah, blah, blah. And then, like, something pops off, and it's like, oh shit. Because when something pops off, it's like you gotta fix the shit, like, quick. You gotta know what you're doing, how to do it, without messing up other people around the world. And it's just kind of like, it's a weird, I don't know, mental battle in a sense. Like it, honestly, like, a lot of times it's bad. Like, the stigma of, like, mental health in our career field, it's not good. It kind of wears on you.
Yeah. Do you know if you have, like, resources?
Yeah, so they actually do a really good job of providing us with, like, you know, whatever counselors, you know, encourage us to reach out and whatnot. We try to do, like, morale events and whatnot, stuff like that. Currently, like, taking leave is really highly encouraged because it's a huge reset button, which is, Wow,
that's awesome. That's honestly, that's like kudos to them because that's not really what I was expecting to hear, for sure. Yeah, because honestly, I wasn't expecting that when I even first went. I thought I was going to, like, hard ass, like, blah blah, deal with it. But this is kind of more. This is actually, I got lucky with the job. It kind of fell in my lap. I was chilling one day. Well, I was sleeping actually, and crew called me up and said, "You're gonna leave tomorrow if you want this job." I was like, "All right." Oh snap!
Yeah, because I was going to college. I just wasn't fucking. I was like, "Nah, I can't do it." I actually need a reset button, I guess, in that sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, so it kind of just happened. But yeah, so her job's weird in that sense.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so your life has been a lot of transition.
Yeah.
And still is, like, consistent transition.
Yeah, but I still got to worry about changing right now because I'm trying to, you know, I mean, I like the space, which is cool, but I want to get out and do my own thing, do something different. So I got to worry about that too. Man, it's not till next January, January 2023, but time flies. It's already been 2.5 years. Actually, over that.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, no, for sure. And we definitely lost that year to COVID and everything. Wow. Okay, so what is, you know, with regard to mental health, what is something that maybe you wish you knew earlier, especially with everything that you went through?
Definitely, it's okay to talk to people. When I was younger, I didn't talk to nobody about my life, my past, and all that. Like, nobody knew about nothing. Kind of just kept that to myself. Being able to journal, I don't know, it's something super simple, but it really helps a lot. And I I don't know, kind of just exploring things you want to do more in life. Because I know, like, as adults, we have things we have to do, and it sucks in our society. A lot of times there's things that we have to do get into the things we want to do, and pretty soon you're not doing anything you want to do.
Yeah. No.
So make sure you have an outlook of some sort of things that you like and enjoy and want to do. If you don't have that, you're stuck like a hamster, and then next thing you know, you're 65 years old, and you're just done shit, and you're kind of just sad, depressed, whatever, you know, you haven't done anything.
So when you didn't really have those outlets, when you didn't really have people you were comfortable speaking about everything that happened with, how did you cope? Like, what did that look like for you?
I went through some anger issues a lot.
Mm-hmm.
As far as school, playing basketball, sports, never happened on the court, never really happened at school.
Nice.
It was usually at home by myself. I kind of let it all out.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it manifested in anger, which happens a lot with men, because, I mean, that's one of the main emotions you're, like, allowed to show by society, right? You're allowed to be happy and you're allowed to be angry.
Yep.
Never sad.
No.
Ever.
No such thing.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
So then when you started to work through that, a lot of that was through journaling and like self-reflecting and all that?
Yeah, a lot. And I did talk to my mom as well, because she got her master's actually, yeah.
Yes, go mama!
Yeah, man.
Okay.
She's doing great. So she actually, you know, she can help me out a lot with this stuff, you know, being able to talk to me as a professional, even, or as my mother.
Yeah.
Whatever have you. So it sounds kind of weird, but I almost use it as a resource sometimes, and she gets it.
Yeah.
Because in a weird way, like my stepmom, my dad, and me, we all kind of like have similar things and feelings and things that we went through. But if you think about it, that's how it is most people in the world. Yeah. But no one really wants to, like, I don't know, talk about it or admit it. And it's like most people have similar feelings and reactions towards certain things that happen in their life.
Yes.
But if you're not going to talk about it, no one's going to know, and you feel like you're alone, but you're not.
Yeah. No, that's so true. Like, there's a commonality in suffering, but we all, like, and especially, like, when you're depressed, when you're going through something, you feel so isolated.
Yep.
But the reality is, like, one, like, expressing it to someone else allows a better connection, you know, vulnerability, and then you can build from there. And two, 99% of the time, they felt the exact same way at some point. You know, whether you have chronic depression or you go through situational depression, everyone at some point has felt that angst and that, you know, the hardships. So yeah, I'm really happy that you touched on that, because it's such a big piece. It's like this space, even if it's just, you know, like, even if I don't even respond, but I allow you space to speak, you're gonna feel better.
Exactly.
Which is crazy. It's just so nice to get it out.
Yep.
That's really cool that you were able to, like, have that,
yeah, you
know, to whatever extent. That's really exciting. So touching back on, you know, Homelessness Awareness Week and everything, what is something that maybe you want the audience to understand about homelessness that, you know, from an outsider looking in, maybe we can't understand?
More isolation. You feel alone and you don't have any hope. And it doesn't take a whole lot to make a person's day, whether you even be homeless or regular. Like you said, give a compliment, talk to the dude, I don't know, give him water, something. Just do something.
Yeah.
Like, it's all it takes, right? You don't have to be out here, you know, getting millions and millions. Yeah, I might do that one day. That'd be great.
Yeah, we want to start a nonprofit together.
Yeah, right.
We're gonna start a homeless shelter.
Give us all your money.
Yes, send it our way. I don't know if that's allowed to say on the internet. Yeah, but and also, like, acknowledge that, one, they're people. Two, you don't know what has gotten them to the point of, you know, homelessness, whether that's, you know, family violence that they're running away from, you know, simply being transgender. A lot of transgender individuals, they make up a huge population of the homeless community. Physical issues, loss of employment, drugs, whatever it may be, even, like, especially during COVID and everything, rental issues. So, like, the housing and everything, you know, they're people. They have a story, just like we all have stories. And like you said, it can go a long way to offer a helping hand in whatever way it may be.
Exactly.
And yeah, I think also, like, you know, one thing that I've always been affected by, especially in college, is, like, for me, the lack of safety that the homeless have.
Yeah.
You know, like, especially with people tearing through homeless camps
Mm.
and just like violence that can occur, and there's no one to like protect them.
Exactly.
And I'm sure you got to face, you know, sadly, like a portion of that in your life growing up.
Yeah.
And so like, yeah, with that being said, like, let's treat everyone like humans, you know, and like don't just assume that because they're on the street that you can say whatever you want to them or like treat people poorly, because like it will come back on you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Well, we are going to wrap it up.
Okay.
I think this is a great stopping point. I feel like we touched on a lot.
Yes.
So thank you so much for letting us into your humble abode. We decided to take it outside because it's Friday.
It's Friday. Get some fresh air. It's nice out.
Yes, and sharing your story. Thank you so much for allowing us, you know, this vulnerability and letting us in.
No problem. It's vulnerability is strength.
Yes, no, it takes so much strength to talk about this.
Exactly.
And I hope this inspires someone else to share their story, because these conversations can stop these generational curses and, you know, these stupid predispositions we have to think about people. So I really appreciate it.
No problem.
Let's do our calls to action. If you want to go first, or I can go first. Whatever you decide. Yes, cool.
One of my big things is that this is a quote I heard, but today's pain is tomorrow's strength. I love that quote. I found that during COVID. But it's huge, especially, you know, with things going on nowadays. Like, there's so much going on, but whatever you went through today, you got through it. You go through tomorrow, guess what? You're alive. You wake up, you got stronger.
Yes.
I got a tattoo on my ribs too. I gotta remind myself every day.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Exactly.
Yes, so keep that mentality. For me, my call to action is whatever your favorite number is. So for instance, mine's 7. I want you to make 7 homeless care packages. So basically, you know, at all times in my car, I should have 7 pairs of socks, 7 water bottles, 7 little tubes of sunscreen, a protein bar, and whatever else, you know, maybe you want to throw in there that week. Just keep it in your car, and when you stumble upon someone, give them that helping hand. And yeah, like I like to make it personal with the 7 because that's my favorite number. If your favorite number is 24, you have to make 24. That's the rules.
I'm on the mentality, you know how it goes.
Yes. But yes, thank you so much for joining us in the Heartfelt Clubhouse. Thank you for having us. We loved it.
No problem.
And don't forget to go out there and be more heartfelt. Ding. Cheers.
Cheers.
Rushed it.
As always, if you or someone you know is in crisis, to speak with someone immediately, contact the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, 1-800-273-2855. That's 1-800-273-TALK. Contact Lifeline Crisis Chat or contact the National Alliance on Mental Illness, or NAMI, at 800-950-6264, or text NAMI, NAMI, to 741741. Thank you, and don't forget to be more heartfelt.